I have been dismantling problematic wellness content for over 10 years. So if you're ready to dive into the dumpster fire vault with me, here are some of the most jaw on the floor memorable moments.
It's the mind-boggling.
Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. If you guys are new here, welcome. We got a lot of catching up to do. But I had this pinch me moment recently when I realized that I have been doing this job for over 12 years. I recently shared a roundup of some of my most memorable What I Eat in a Day moments. And as I was doing the research, I was honestly overwhelmed with the crazy content that I have seen. I have posted over 4,000 videos. So as we say here, there's a lot to unpack. So in my last video, I focused more on the what I eat in a day moments. Today, I want to focus on some of the serious what the diet advice that I've come across here on this app. Buckle up, folks, and trigger warning, there is a lot of problematic diet tips ahead, so please do skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. Also a reminder that this content is not fresh, so a lot of these content creators or celebrities may have grown in their food journeys. And honestly, I definitely hope that they have. I don't even know if some of these people are even posting content anymore. So as always, this content is not meant to bully or shame, so please be kind in the comments. But yeah, the YouTube space has changed so much over the years, and I myself have grown a lot in my approach and tact. But again, this is just a gentle reminder of the permanency of the internet and why we really do need to be prudent about what we post, especially if we hold a lot of power and clout. And finally, don't forget to hit up my description for my free Hunger Crushing Combo ebook. Okay, folks, get those diet culture bingo cards ready.
Bing pot!
Let's dive in here, starting with another gem of a diet tip from the Cheetah Girl, Adrienne from All Things Adrienne.
You want your body to be as close to a newborn baby as possible. They say that babies' bodies are so clean and pure when they're first born. That is why every time they eat something, they go to the bathroom right after.
Now, I also want to note about Adrienne's suggestion that we should be going to the bathroom as often as newborn babies in order to cleanse ourselves, lose weight, and achieve the same purity as babies. No. First of all, babies go to the bathroom more often, not because they're pure, but because their digestive organs like the stomach, esophagus, and intestines are substantially smaller than that of an adult. A 1-week-old newborn stomach is about the size of an apricot or plum, so it can actually only hold about 3 to 4 tablespoons of liquid. Obviously then, they have to feed like every hour or so, and they poop pretty regularly. Newborn babies' guts are also immature as they are actively building digestive enzymes and healthy gut bacteria. Hence why we don't give newborns green juice or avocado, we give them breast milk or formula only. So it does not make sense to compare the inputs and outputs of adult humans to babies when these systems are developmentally very different. I also want to touch on Adrienne's recommendation that we should be going to the bathroom an hour after eating a meal. While drinking something like green juice may or may not give you the runs, the time it takes for one meal to move through your stomach and intestines can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days or more. And this is necessary and important in order for nutrients from food to be efficiently digested and absorbed by the body before excretion. If you were to go to the bathroom immediately after a meal, you may be bypassing critical steps in digestion and absorption and missing out on important nutrients from food. And a super speedy transit through the digestive system is often the case with things like diarrhea, which is perhaps the only time when you'll find yourself running to the can in the hours following a meal. And I think we can all agree that this is no fun for anybody. And speaking of not so much fun, I want to talk about the hack from the now deleted Blair Walnuts video about letting your friends eat all the tasty food when you're eating out as a diet hack.
When I'm out and I order a side of mac and cheese and I share with my friends, that's another tip I have for you guys. Share with your friends. Let them eat most of the food.
So I think it's always great advice to share food with friends, but ordering a small side of mac and cheese for the table and having your friends consume most of it so that you can create the facade of participating in the social foodie fun without eating more than a few dozen calories is problematic as fuck. And since we're on the topic of low calorie, let's take a look at this tidbit from Julianne Hough.
Celery juice or something that also gives me a little bit of sugar before I go do a quick workout, or I'll do like amino acids or something like that to just give me that support, that energy that I'm looking for.
Wow.
Wow.
So many problematic statements in like 5 seconds of footage. Okay, first of all, I would never characterize celery juice as a source of sugar to energize your workout. There's literally 1 gram of carbs in a stalk of celery. 1. A banana, in contrast, which would be a very, very modest pre-workout snack and also not something that I would characterize as super high in carbs and sugar, has 30. So please, let's stop the carb shaming crap here. Second, branched chain amino acids are exactly that, amino acids, the building blocks of protein. And as such, they are also not the most efficient source of energy. And since we're on the topic of amino acids, I just want to remind everyone that if you're consuming enough protein from whole protein sources, or even from like a protein powder, there's no need for additional BCAAs or branched chain amino acid supplements. They also contain so few calories, aka energy, because that's what calories are, that they are not going to be very good fuel for a hard workout either. Because I know my kids would fight over anything that's not equal, it's only fair that we also share a tip from the other Hough sibling, Derek.
Okay, so we start out with lemon water. It's a little bit of like warm lemon water to revitalize and just energize our body.
Revitalize, energize, hypnotize, and mesmerize.
It helps with hydration too, so we're always getting hydrated.
Drink this first thing in the morning, gets everything going, gets everything moving, and then don't eat anything for 15 minutes. So let everything kind of sink in, absorb in your body, rock and roll, alkaline, energize, because the lemon, even though it's acidic, when it goes in your body, it turns alkaline.
Do your job, Abby. Just do your job.
Oh, come on!
All right, so although studies have shown that lemon juice may make the pH of our urine more alkaline, that this does not have any effect on the pH of our blood. In fact, no food has an effect on our blood pH, because if it did, we wouldn't have any wellness influencers on Instagram, because they would all be dead. Next, it is, my friend. But since we are on a liquid breakfast kick, let's talk about the smoothie tip from pharmacist Dr. Mona Vand.
But fruit can make you extremely bloated. It can bother a lot of people's stomach. So one amazing alternative here, blend it into a smoothie. This is actually also better for digestion, because basically when you're blending, you're pre-digesting your food. So anything that's more liquid is gonna get digested and absorbed better into your body than when it's solid. So you're getting more nutrients, but don't underestimate using water.
While I am also a total smoothie fan, there are a few things that Dr. Mona mentions in her kind of ode to smoothies here that I don't completely agree with. For normal healthy eaters, there's not a lot of evidence to suggest that liquefying foods measurably improves nutrition status or reduces bloating. Anecdotally, however, I do sometimes hear that it can help with bloating. But if this sounds like you, it might be because A, you're dealing with some IBS symptoms and therefore excessive amounts of fiber could be irritating, so pre-digesting that fiber in a blender may theoretically help. Or B, you're healthy, but you're not chewing your food enough. This is a surprisingly common problem. Interestingly, smoothies come with a lot of hidden bloating risks as well. If you're drinking your smoothie through a straw or chugging it back in big gulps, it's very common to swallow air. And in fact, 90% of gas in your gut is just swallowed air. Another thing that is not considered here is that chewing your food gives your body more time to secrete gastric digestive enzymes, which should also aid in better digestion. Eating foods in solid form can also be more physically and emotionally satiating. One study found that liquids don't give you the same satiation factor as solids, even for the same amount of calories. Likely because the act of chewing itself clearly tells the brain that you're eating calories. While Dr. Mona recommends a smoothie because she says that, you can better absorb the nutrients, we also don't want food to pass right through us either. Smoothies are technically pre-digested, which means we'll absorb it faster. That being said, When we miss out on that extra step of digestion that our body is trained to do, you'll likely end up with an empty tank pretty quickly. Foods that pass right through us, like simple sugars in a smoothie, can cause a spike in our blood sugar and leave us susceptible to overeating shortly after. Finally, I want to flag Dr. Mona's comment about getting more nutrients from a smoothie by blending it with water. This is where Dr. Mona is kind of teetering into the wooey food combining territory. Dr. Mona's theory here is that if you eliminate nutrient-dense liquids like milk and instead blend your fruit with water, the fruits will be better and more effectively absorbed and you'll get more nutrients out of it. This is based on the food combining theory principle that if you give your body too many nutrient-dense foods, it will slow down digestion and the absorption of nutrients will be also slowed. So if you eliminate the number of nutrient-dense foods and you swap in water for your smoothie, Dr. Mona believes that you can reap more of the nutrients from the fruit. Obviously, there's no scientific proof to confirm any of this. I think we've already squashed this myth pretty well right here. In fact, the best way to maximize your smoothie situation and get more nutrients out of it is to add more nutrients. So instead of nutrient-free water, maybe add some healthy fats from avocado or nut butter, or protein from Greek yogurt or tofu or soy milk. That is certain to increase the nutrient value of your drink. Now, the internet is rife with competing suggestions, so if the fruit-only smoothie isn't your jam, why not a fruit-free diet? But only if you are farther away from the equator?
No sugar. Around 5 grams or under is okay. The thing is, the closer you are to the equator, the more fruits you're able to eat, but the further away you go, the less you should be consuming because it's not natural for fruits to be in that area. So just because it's healthy in some areas of the world doesn't make it healthy in other areas of the world.
Wow. There's a lot to tackle in like just a minute worth of footage. The strangest thing about her recommendation is that she goes on to say that the closer you are to the equator, the more fruits you can eat. But the further away you live, the less fruit you can eat because it's not natural for fruits to grow there. That is so misinformed and like so unusual. I had to listen to it back 5 times or more to really grasp what she was saying. First of all, humans have evolved to find ways to enjoy a variety of fruits and vegetables to make it easier and more enjoyable to meet our varied nutrient needs. This includes flash freezing fruits when they're ripe and out of season so that we can enjoy it later on in the year. Also, I live in Canada and we live nowhere near the equator. So does that mean that I shouldn't have any fruit? The reality is we grow a lot of beautiful fruit outside here in Canada. We've got apples and pears in the fall and strawberries and peaches in the summer, etc. And if we look back in history, our First Nations ancestors relied on freshly foraged wild berries as quick nutrient-dense fuel. And we eat all of these local fruits despite the fact that, again, we live 7,000 kilometers away from the equator. Girl, this theory just doesn't hold up. And finally, another theory that just doesn't quite hold up. Let's talk about the time former vegan Alyse Parker turned carnivore.
You may be wondering, but what about the body's nutritional needs? Won't you lack some of the necessary vitamins and minerals that a more balanced diet can provide? Well, actually, most of the advocates for the carnivore diet claim that meat contains all of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to not only survive, but to thrive.
I want to flag this point because this is not necessarily true. Yes, you can get a variety of vitamins and minerals from meat. However, there is one that is particularly important that you might be missing out on in significant amounts, and that is vitamin C. And let's not forget about fiber. Meat doesn't give us any fiber, and that's a shame because fiber can do a lot for our health. Not only has fiber been linked to improving cardiovascular health by lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, fiber also promotes a diverse gut microbiome, which improves our immune system, digestion, satiety, and regularity. Now, many proponents of a carnivore diet will cite cultures that have historically eaten just meat and were not deficient in any vitamins and minerals, like the Inuit, for example. However, you won't find certain meats eaten by the Inuit, get like whale fat, for example, in your standard butcher box or a local butchery. They've also been able to avoid vitamin deficiencies like scurvy because they typically consume whale skin, which is rich in collagen and vitamin C. And these specialty meats may be particularly hard to find depending on where you live. Well, folks, I am pretty sure we have enough examples of problematic diet tips on this app for me to create another 4,000 YouTube videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little roundup of some of the most idiotic nutrition claims that we have seen on this app thus far. I'm hoping that we can all channel our thoughts and prayers into a future without content like this. I mean, I would love to retire at some point, but I'm pretty sure I cannot do that in a world where we're still fighting over whether we should be eating only meat or only fruit. But anyways, on that note, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment below with some of the craziest diet culture tips that you have seen on this app or online in general. And I'm always loving that we can unpack this and learn together. And don't forget to subscribe and hit up my description for my free hunger crushing combo ebook. And I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.